possibilities portal. I am actually going live here inside of my channel. I have not done this in quite a while, and I think I've only done this one other time, but I want to start doing this more frequently, is going live right here inside of the channel. So I am super excited because today what we're going to talk about is the Gemini moon, the Gemini new moon energy that we're still in, very much in. We're going to talk about how to take advantage of this energy, what to expect, and then what to do in your business today as a result of this Gemini new moon. Now, one of the things that I want to get into before we dive in is every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, 12 p.m. noon Eastern, I will be live for my general audience doing live birth chart readings. I would love to consider some of you guys for a reading. So if you are interested in getting a reading, and this is free, this is just an opportunity. If you're interested in getting a reading and you're like, I would love to have my chart read, then I want to encourage you to DM me and let me know. And then I can go ahead and schedule some of you guys out. And the cool thing about this is that it is live. It is a free reading, and it's the opportunity to get your questions answered, any things that you're thinking about, like yourself, where you're like, I want to know more about myself, or I want to understand, what's going on in the sky and how that's affecting my personal life and all of that. If those are the questions that you find yourself asking, then I want to encourage you to DM me so we can talk about you being on the episode. The show is called Charted. I'm really excited about it, where I chart people's birth charts. So I'm really excited about that. Last week we did Taylor Swift's birth chart, which was really awesome. And I had everyone guess who was I actually reading, and I didn't tell them what the chart was. And then everyone was able to guess based off of just the characteristics of what I was sharing about who this person was. Based off of her chart, people were able to guess it. So that's pretty exciting. So your birth chart can tell you so much about yourself. And this is the cool thing. So with Taylor Swift in particular, we don't actually have her birth time. So I don't know the deep specifics about her personality and about her purpose, because we don't know her rising sign for sure. And we don't know the house systems that are all being affected, which the house systems are what equals the area of your life that's being impacted. We don't actually know that. So for those of you who are like, oh, I would love to get a reading, but I don't know what time I was born, that's absolutely okay. We can still tell a lot of information just by knowing where you were born and the date that you were born. Now, let's dive into today's energy. So today the moon is in, and I'm looking up because right now, and I wonder if I can switch this around. Okay, yeah, I can. So hold on one second, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking at. Ooh. So this is actually my birth chart wheel. Here in the center is my wheel. And then here on the outer ring is the actual chart of today. And as you can see, we have all these lines, right? And what they're trying to basically say is these are the aspects. These are the conversations that each of the planets are having with each other. And this basically tells me what I can expect for myself emotionally, because I'm looking directly at, well, what's happening. The moon right now is in my 5th house, along with the sun and along with Mercury. And look at Pluto, it's retrograding in my 1st house. So this tells me more about what I can expect emotionally. But what I'm excited about doing is just using this chart, this wheel on the outside, to help you guys understand what you guys can expect emotionally today. So that's what I'm looking at when I look here. So today the moon currently is in Gemini. So is the sun, and so is Mercury. Now, what is really awesome about that particular these placements is, one, this is what we call a stellium, meaning that more than 3 planets are in a particular sign or a particular house. For me, it's all in my 5th house of inner child, creativity, passion, children even. But for you, it might be in your 7th house of relationships and marriage, collaboration, partnerships, and known enemies, which is very interesting that house is that. But we don't have to get into all the, maybe one day I will talk about the houses and their actual meanings. I do have a post about that. So you could definitely check that out, but maybe one day I will do a whole live about that, because that could be really interesting for you guys to understand the houses. But today, because of the fact that we have so much concentrated energy in the energy of Gemini, you may struggle a little bit with like overthinking, talking a lot, because Gemini rules over communication. And so one of the areas that you may find, or one of the things that you may find about yourself is today it's like you almost either have a lot of clarity and you know exactly what you want to say and exactly how you want to say it, or you're like struggling to find your words. Hi, that's me. And it's because there's so much information, there's so much coming at you all at once that it makes it challenging to like keep up. And remember, like your brain is kind of like just going like this. And that's kind of how I feel today. I feel like my brain is all over the place. And because of that, it's actually hard for me to keep up with what I'm thinking. So one of the ways that you can kind of get through today is take deep, deep breaths. When you find yourself overthinking or having racing thoughts, take a moment to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth and be present, because that's going to help you to get through some of the chaotic energy that Gemini energy can create for us. Now, the other thing as well, you know what? I didn't even notice this. Jupiter. Yeah, Jupiter's also in Gemini too. The moon will be catching up with Jupiter in a few hours here. But with that being said, that means that Mercury, the sun, the moon, and Jupiter all are in Gemini, which creates this like chaotic energy. But it also creates, like I said, for many people, especially if you're a Gemini sun, then this is your birthday season. This is your solar return. This can create a sense of ease. Like finally things are working out. Things are kind of going smoothly. And the reason why you're feeling that is because, you know, there's so much going on in Gemini. So that's why you're feeling this like ease. So I definitely want to know for some of you, how this energy is manifesting within you. So let's talk a little bit about the intentions that sorry. Goodness, who cares what I want, right? But the intentions that the universe might have for you today when it comes to your business, especially when it comes to attracting abundance. So what I would say is, because Gemini energy also rules over communication, this is a great day to do reach outs, to do follow-ups, to connect with people. You know, a lot of people are seeing a slowdown in their businesses right now. And so if you are experiencing that right now, you are not alone. I'm also experiencing a slowdown. I'm not making nearly as much money as I did last year at this time. And I don't know the numbers because I'm not good with checking my numbers, but please don't get on to me about that. But I do know that I'm down. And I also know that even when it comes to like click-throughs and profile visits and all my insights, like all the numbers are down. People are opening and they're checking like their emails from Substack and stuff. I do see that because I do have my Substack email list. But I'm not getting as many click-throughs in terms of people actually clicking to book or things like that. So if you're experiencing a slowdown too, you're not alone. A lot of us are experiencing that, and that's okay. So this is what I'm finding is that we're having to be a little bit more creative about how we manifest more clients and how we connect with clients. Some of this is going to come down to mindset, right? Where it's like, you got to stay positive, you got to stay strong, and you have to believe. And strong doesn't have to mean that you never cry or you never get upset or you never get worried, but more so that you keep that dream alive, that you keep staying in that place. But you might have to do also, outside of the mindset work, you have to also do some of the, networking online and offline, the follow-ups with people who have reached out to you in the past, and check in on them and see where's their head at. Do they still want to move forward with you? Are they still interested? And if they're not, don't let that get into your head and stop you from still showing up online or in future conversations with that particular person. Doing both the strategy and the mindset, the energy and the mindset. The energy and the strategy are going to be so important during these times. So today is a perfect time to focus on getting your mind right and staying in a more positive, hopeful belief system, and challenging any of the beliefs, those limiting beliefs that that are stopping you or stalling you from moving forward. Today is a great day to focus on that, as well as, okay, hold on. We have the dogs in the office because we have people downstairs painting. So I'm hoping that he doesn't bark. But anyways, so what was I talking about? Yeah, so this is a perfect day to focus on communicating with people, reaching out, and focusing on audience growth as well. Being really unconventional, doing things like going live. If you have a channel, use your channel to go live and create specific things for them. Create offers that maybe are unique and exclusive to your email list or to your stories or to your channel, right? There's all these cool, great ways that you can create, a desire for people to work with you. And today you want to have fun and do that, because also Gemini also rules over fun too. It's more like the early childhood type of fun, inner child almost, but not quite, because Leo is what rules the inner child. But Gemini definitely still loves a good playtime energy. And so I want to encourage you to find ways to bring play into your business. What offers can you create that are exciting and that allow you to be creative and do something different or new? Today's affirmation is, I speak my truth with clarity and magnetize aligned opportunities. I love that. Okay, so the reason I created that affirmation is because, like I said, Gemini rules over communication. So today is a day to speak your truth. If you need something, if you desire something, tell the universe what it is that you desire and call that forward, call that in, and then remove any of the limiting beliefs, because Gemini also rules over some of the beliefs that we have in our system. Well, what are some of those beliefs that you have that are getting in the way of your ability to manifest the clients, the money, the love, the relationships, the connections, whatever it is that you're wanting to desire, wanting to manifest, right? And then when you speak your truth, you magnetize opportunities to you. You bring those things forward because you're being honest about what it is that you need. So today is that day. Today is a great day to focus also on spell work, especially creating your own spells, just because it's all about using your words to create your intentions. One of my favorite ways to do spells is scripting, which is where I write down exactly what it is that I want to manifest, and I write it as if it's already manifested. And then it usually comes true, which is pretty awesome. I was actually looking at my scripting book earlier today, and I read all of these things that had manifested over the last couple of years that I just totally forgot that I had scripted it all out. And so that's another thing that I want to encourage you to do, is today is a great day to focus on scripting, to focus on writing out what it is that you want to manifest, and then bring that in. Hey girl, how are you? So last thing is, this is also the ending of the new moon. So the moon goes new when, if you remember when I showed you guys the wheel, the moon goes new when the sun and the moon meet up in the same space. Now the moon is at 13 degrees Gemini, where the sun is at 6 degrees Gemini. But last night, that's when the sun and the moon actually connected at the same degree, creating the new moon. So what that also means is creating new, fresh energy, new opportunities. So what do you want to bring into your life? What do you want to manifest before the Gemini full moon that will come up during Sagittarius season? So you have quite a few times. Like back in the day, I used to think that the new moon, oh no, not the new moon. Yeah, the new moon and the full moon worked in cycles of like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So you set your intentions by the new moon, and by the full moon, it comes to fruition. It doesn't quite work like that. It doesn't mean that it can't, but it doesn't mean that it works like that. What it does is you set the intention for the Gemini new moon for something to manifest by the Gemini full moon, right? You set the intention for the Scorpio new moon to manifest by the Scorpio full moon. You see, so it just kind of goes like within like 6 months, right? And then depending on what area of your life the moon is in, like I said, in my chart, it's in my fifth house. That's the area that you want to focus on trying to manifest. And the beautiful part about the houses is that there's 12 different houses, 12 different areas of your life that are all going to be highlighted at some point by each of these transits, by the moon and the sun moving into each of these areas of your life. And thus you get the opportunity to talk about, what do I want when it comes to my inner child healing, when it comes to my habits, when it comes to my relationships, when it comes to my sex life, when it comes to the endings and the beginnings that I want to begin, the beliefs that I have, my career, my friendships, and my community. What's the other 12th house? The 12th house is the subconscious beliefs, or that my character is the first house. My second house is the money. And then, yeah, so I think that's all of the houses. If it's okay if that's a lot, because I know that astrology is its own language. But anyway, the point is that depending on where it is, where the moon is in your chart, that will also give you a window into, well, what should you be focusing on manifesting, because the energy is already there. And so now what do you want to manifest before that full moon comes up? So right now, during the Gemini new moon, you want to focus on what is the maybe communication that I need to have, or that I want to manifest, or that I want to create. What are the traveling manifestations that I want to have, particularly when it comes to short-term travel? What are the relationships that I want to have with my siblings? Because Gemini also rules over siblings. You think about it, it's the twins. And so it's like, what kind of relationships do I want with my sibling relationships, or my sibling partnerships, and things like that. And then you're answering those are all journal prompts that you could use to answer those questions and then help you to manifest. So anyways, that is today's energy. Tomorrow, I will be going live again on my general channel at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, 12 p.m. noon, doing a birth chart reading. Again, if you'd like to be considered, go ahead and DM me and let me know. And then what's the other thing that I was going to say? Oh, and I'm thinking I may go live here again tomorrow morning. So we'll see. We'll see. Stay close. All right. I thank you so much for watching this live, and for watching this on the replay. And I'll see you guys later on. Bye.